Hey there, Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, well, that's on you, pal. I was going to do a quick one, such as I kind of alluded to in an earlier tweet this week, as I did a preview of what's this week's content, and I put up these two, okay? I want to do a series of good comic book stories that may have flown under your radar. And one thing I wanted to address was, are you aware that Frank Miller has been consistently putting out the Dark Knight Returns universe up to like this very day almost? And so just to even get to the latest issue, to the latest installment of the Dark Knight Returns, come on, we all know the Dark Knight Returns, right? This is the Batman, the Return of the Batman. This was just so cool to see as a kid. I was about 13, 14 years old. This was just on a heavier paper stock. I wish I had the individual issues, because it's just the act structure is just so key, and the pacing of this too. There were 4 installments, 4 acts, and this to me is one of my favorite Batman drawings of all times. If I were to choose a Batman to show somebody, this one, the mature Batman with the smile on his face. He's about to get his butt kicked. And let's show the opposite of this is when he comes back. Because this is the Batman we all know. These are the splash pages that Frank Miller drew with his then wife, Lynn Varney, and then it was inked by Klaus Johnson. And oh gosh, this is where it's at. This is the Dark Knight. That's his Robin, Carrie Kelly. You know what I mean? Just an interesting side note, though. You really can't have an appreciation of Frank Miller's Dark Knight series without having an appreciation of Batman 66. I've never read this anywhere before, but Carrie Kelly's Robin, she is directly, in my humble opinion, directly visually inspired by Jill St. John, who played, she was in the pilot episode, not the movie, the pilot episode of Batman 66, and she played the Riddler, Frank Gorshin's Riddler's gangster moll, the female sidekick. And, oh gosh, I can't recall her name, but she had this same red hair. So there is a point where, being, a smaller, feminine, woman, petite woman, that she could pass physically for Robin. So what she did was she put on the Robin suit. So from afar, with the mask and the wig, no one would question that this was a boy, because so she gets into the Batcave and has and is dressed as Robin. She looks nearly identical to Carrie Kelly here. And she falls into the nuclear pile pit on the behind the Bat computer, the Bat reactor, and he couldn't save her. Batman couldn't save her. Yeah, so that happened. That's the pilot episode of Batman 66. So there are lots of kind of campy cues all over this, but this is just let you know, this came out 2019. Yeah, this is a DC comic from 2019 from their much ballyhooed replacement to Vertigo, The Black Label, which is meant for mature audiences. This was written by Frank Miller, and it was the art is by Rafael Grampa, who's really, really, this suits the tone and the mood. And Jordi Belair was the colorist, and and then there were variant covers too. But to get from here that we all pretty much know, to here, something you might not be any aware of. Let's just look at the cover real quick. This is the Raphael Grandpa cover. It's on a great cardstock. This went for $5.99. Yep, let's get that. Yeah, see, those are the caveats. A black label, no ads, no advertisements. Beautiful art, and works very well, like with themes that I've seen. My favorite scene in The Dark Knight Returns, the original, is mirrored right here. You know, you don't know what it's like to take 200 pounds of human garbage up to the tallest point in Gotham, but the scream alone was worth it. That's mirrored in this scene here. So, and it's about the world's finest team, but also and here comes the bane of continuity. So, the Frank Miller Batman Returns comic book, this famous thing, here we go. We're gonna look at it again. We're gonna look at Batman versus Superman. Yeah, nothing was like this. They were super friends. I mean, this didn't ruin comics. This just threw something, very, grown up. Our heroes had grown up. Yeah, and but to get to this one, the Golden Child, you have no idea what's going on. You do need an info bomb that you don't really get. It's now, sure, it's all in the opening. This cold open really actually should get you up to speed really quick. That these kids, this boy and the ponytail girl right there, she's wearing something familiar on her chest. Could that be what? That's a Supergirl. That's Lara. She's the daughter of Superman and Wonder Woman. And that's little John. He's the son of Superman and Wonder Woman. Literally a new generation of literal gods. And again, who's that? Who's Batman? Or who's Batwoman? That's Carrie Kelly. She's grown in every version so far. She almost adopts a new identity. And now we have to get into the stack, because to get from here to there, to explain from 1986 to now, this universe, you're just going to have to take a peek at the stack real quick. The much ballyhooed all-star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder. This is very much about the origin story of the Dick Grayson that got fired. Yeah, I mean, it's that famous scene in Dark Knight Returns, and this was before the continuity caught up with it, but no, I haven't talked. It's Commissioner Gordon and old Bruce Wayne talking with the gloves off, without any kind of ignorance of their past. You drinking champagne, you drinking ginger ale, trying to pull off that it was champagne. And, hey, you speak to Dick lately? He's like, nonsense. And then alluding to Jason's death. And Tim wasn't even a sparkle in the eye at this point in comics. So this was it was Jim Lee, superstar Jim Lee, inked by Scott Williams, a Frank Miller story. This was supposed to be a very, very big marquee title, and it never finished. Yeah, it was one of comics' biggest disappointments. That never finished yet, and it shows the outright cruelty that this Batman had to this young boy that was just lost his parents. It's and also how this young boy took down Green Lantern, which is equally impressive. And then there's Batman copulating on the hood of the Batmobile with Black Canary. This was meant to be high octane, marquee level talent, and but it fizzled out. I mean, yeah, what is it about making commitments and not coming through with comic book creators? I'm not seeing anything personally, no. Okay, so The Dark Knight came out in the 80s. It did. It got a sequel in 2001, DK2. Now this is outrageous. It's colorful. It pulls in, Frank Miller pulls in all the Super Friends, and it's a murder mystery. The Super Friends are getting killed off one by one, and so but again, we have wonderful Frank Miller art. And we got Superman as this reluctant emo, more so than Batman. And this thing really predicts like girls on camera. This really predicts our TikTok culture and Twitch and all the live streams. It's like we have certain brands of news being reported to by ingenues in different states of dress as well, and the evolution of Carrie Kelly's character, and now she's Catgirl or Catwoman. She's moved on a little bit from Robin. She's still Batman's first lieutenant. You know what I mean, first officer. But they're getting the band back together, and they rescue Barry Allen. I love the simplicity of this Barry Allen costume. I would love to get this T-shirt. Shorts? Yeah, kind of figured you're a runner. That's really cool. And but this is it features it starts with Batman just a little older, still being able to get the best of Superman with some kryptonite help. But still, DK2, yeah, it was colorful. It had this controversial ending, in my humble opinion. It's the big bad was Robin, Dick Grayson, who enhanced his body that he couldn't be killed. It was kind of like he had Plastic Man molecules grafted onto him. And but this, cover gives it away that Clark heals from his beaten on Themyscira, with Diana chiding him, about telling him he could have been a god and I could have been your goddess. And they fly up to the clouds and have a fuck scene together. And the result of that is Lana. And she had been the result of a previous romantic interlude. She grew up on Themyscira. Lana, she the illegitimate daughter of Wonder Woman and Superman. And at the end of it, it's kind of like, oh, I have a teenage daughter. Well, I guess I better show you how to use your Kryptonian powers. But like, father, I've been trained to be an Amazon. So she's a wonderful synthesis of that. What if Superman and Wonder Woman, got together? Well, the answer is Lana. And when they hooked up again, that is how John is conceived. And so John is the golden child of its self-titled one. This is the 2009 Golden Child. And it comes down to Darkseid versus the Kid. And then came, I'll look at the indicia and tell you. And remember, this was a $5.99 an issue. No ads. And each one, this is pretty brilliant, I like this, had a mini comic book inside of it. Yeah. That figures in with the story. This one was they're penciled by Adam Kubert. They were so good. And it was co-written by Brian Azzarello. But yeah, let's get to the indicia here. All the little stuff. And every comic book has like one of these blocks on the bottom called the indicia. It gives you the print, its volume number. You get everything you need to know from your comic book right down here. And this was published in 2015. And that went a few issues. It's a really interesting conceit. The Atom, Ray Palmer, who is the master of shrinking his size, was able to heal all the Kandorians in Superman's bottled city. But once he brought thousands of Kryptonians up to size, and they got their exposure to the sunlight at that size, they all became tyrants, and they try to take over the world. And so this is about the reconciliation of Batman and Superman, about the treatment that Miller's given Superman over Dark Knights 1 and 2. And so by Dark Knight 3, they've come full circle, and they are able together to defeat all the Kandorians, the world's finest team, once again. And you have also a whole bunch of things with like awesomeness with Wonder Woman, carrying around the baby. And by now, Carrie is starting to accept her Bat identity. She has kind of a Batman of Zur-Nar colored outfit. But yeah, this is where she adopts Batwoman. And she starts to team up with Lana, the new Superwoman, or Supergirl. They just call her Lana. But she's also Diana's daughter as well. Great combo, huh? But yeah, that's also from the mini comic inside of the comic. What it does, though, it leads... there's an interesting ending that Bruce dies. And there's never a throwaway dialogue in a Frank Miller book, I think. But something, I think hopefully this is a setup to a payoff that will happen. But what does Superman do? He finds the nearest Lazarus pit and he brings Bruce back to life. So here's Bruce. Now he's young again, literally. He's been rejuvenated. He suffered comic book death. He's now returned physically to his peak, a man of his mid-30s. And but what he says to Clark, though, I wish you hadn't have done that. Which I think is like, does this leave Bruce's body open to magic? Has he made a deal with the devil in the past? So, I mean, stuff like that. It just gets the fanboys' fuel going. And one more thing before we, for the Golden Child. In The Dark Knight Returns, he also came up with Azzarello and Miller came around this same time. This was a $6.99 one-shot on nice paper stock. And this came out, I think, about 2016, around the same time as Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. This is a prequel, or just they're told holographically out of in any kind of order to layer the story. This is the night that Joker kills Jason Todd. So this is how Jason Todd dies originally in Dark Knight Returns, in the one panel before this came out, like a few, maybe 3 or 4 years before. 3 or 4 years before Jason died in the comic book. Yeah, here we go. This is a conversation between Jim Gordon. Spoken to Dick lately? Not for 7 years, Jim. You know that. Still, huh? I'm damn sorry about that. Especially what happened to Jason. With what happened to Jason. And this gives us the first view. This started the pearls and this. The memorial, the Robin Memorial. It's in 2 panels. I mean, yeah, that just says this is show don't tell. I mean, yeah, and that's that. I don't think we see the Robin Memorial ever again. You know what I mean? I'm trying to remember if there's there it is. And there's the giant penny. I mean, the T-Rex has got to be around, and there's the Batmobile. My cave. You can hear the voice, huh? But yeah, I think the Robin Memorial is because we don't come back to the Batcave really till like the very end. Let's see. But yeah, so this has been a little catch up to the Golden Child. How to get from here to here, and in comic books lingo and in superhero time, huh? So by here, we get a cameo from Bruce, and through a text. So, and if anyone wants to say that Frank Miller's always been political, he kind of has. He's got Darkseid teamed up with a resurrected Joker who may or may not be the real Joker, and with plenty of Donald Trump in the background. And Turkey's done. I mean, yeah. And this is a panel that I think will be missed on people, and especially with every year to come. This is a 2015, 2016 no, this is a 2019 artwork. So it's happened in 2018, 2019. Who is that? That's Greta Thunberg. I mean, yeah. And once again, we have Frank Miller as prescience. This predicted the Antifa riots. I mean, yeah, and all like the what we call the Summer of Love 2020. I mean, this totally calls predicts that. Sorry. I mean, this looks like it could have been drawn yesterday. It wasn't. It was drawn before any of this stuff happened. But that's all I got for today too. That's been my my comic book appreciation. I needed extra time. This was going to be a short one. I was going to try to explain this book, and I just couldn't. I didn't have the means without bringing up the entire stack. And I'm missing a few things. Apparently, Frank Miller did an oversized publication recently called Superman Year One, which is a new origin story. Yet I hear from Wes at Thinking Critical that this Superman in this Frank Miller Superman Year One book is this Superman. Grows up to be President Reagan's lackey. Yeah, remember President Reagan was the president in here, and by Dark Knight 2, it turns out to be some kind of computer hologram between Lex Luthor and Brainiac, and that there wasn't a president. It was all a computer algorithm. Isn't that kind of wow? I mean, Frank Miller got it going on. He was a futurist before we had the term futurist. And you can think what you want about his politics. I don't care about his politics. I will, being a lapsed comic book buyer, and I don't want to buy DC or Marvel anymore, this will get me back to the comic book store, and I will buy anything related to Frank Miller's Batman universe, his Dark Knight Returns. And am I missing anything? I don't consider Batman Year One to be Dark Knight territory. I know that's Batman. That's Frank Miller Dark Knight. That's canonical to the post-crisis origin story, and that brings in the pearls. But is that specifically our Dark Knight Returns Batman? I say no. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you for sticking in so long if you have. And give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. If you want to, more, nerdy gals, geeky gals out there, you need more handsome men in a black tank top talking about Sully explaining his favorite comic books, well, you've come to the right place. If so, give me a subscribe. I can guarantee you I'm going to be doing more of this kind of content. I'm going to be going through my long boxes, just sharing my love of funny books. That's all I got for today. Leave a comment in the comments section, and hopefully I can earn your subscription. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. Yeah, it's been the long and winding golden road, the yellow brick road to the golden child. Yeah, huh? Thank you so much. Cheers.